start. Welcome everybody to the first Nadi show for 2022. Yes. And of course, this is, when I say Nadi, it's Nadi Digital Economy Malaysia. And it is a show where DNA editors, me, Karamjit, and my colleague Dzof Azmi, give our take and try to provide some context around some of the more interesting stories that we see in Malaysia's digital economy, not necessarily stories just run by DNA. And that's important because we're going to cover stories that we would have missed and others would have run also. And actually, the first story that we're going to talk about today, a quick one, is actually that Carsome has apparently raised $300 million from Temasek-backed funds and from a Qatar sovereign wealth fund also, which is a first. Very interesting. Now, this is a sources-based story, but sources who are familiar with the financial dealings have told the Edge journalists this is what's going to happen. So we just got to wait for the official announcement. But so this is a used car online marketplace in Southeast Asia, and of course, then there are two companies, startups, which have elevated themselves above the rest. The other one is based out of Singapore, and that is called Caro. And I think for Malaysians or those who are in the funding ecosystem, startup ecosystem, the Caro story against Carsome is interesting. There is an edge to this battle between the two of them because Permodalan Nasional Bhd, they actually put in $25 million into a round that Caro announced at the end of November, which was $100 million, right, Dzof?
Yeah, altogether it was 100 million.
Yeah, altogether. So Permodalan PNB actually put in 25 million. And actually, the Edge also actually, like probably in early October, broke the story that PNB was actually going to lead the round. So PNB scaled down its investment, probably because there was a lot of pushback, including us on DNA, right? We did not write a story about it, but in Nadi, we spoke about it at least twice to say that if this does come true, it will be an incredibly brave decision by the folks at Permodalan Nasional Bhd, because obviously when Carsome raised its earlier round, PNB was one of the parties that looked at it and they stepped away. And from what we understand, they stepped away because they felt that the investment was too pricey, and also because they were not convinced that Carsome deserved its valuation. Because if you remember now, we'll go back quickly, Carsome became a unicorn by virtue of taking a stake in iCar, which is a company that Patrick Grove, Qatar Group has a stake in, and they listed in Australia. And this is by way of Carsome coming in and taking Patrick Grove's iCar, doing a share swap, and also buying over a majority, depending on shareholders' agreement there, right? Buying over majority of this, if not all of the stake, right, of iCar in Australia. So go ahead, Dzof.
Yeah, so just to say, it's based on the valuation of what the stock was worth, right?
Correct. So which is your typically when you become a unicorn, it is because somebody has given you money, and that money is based on the valuation that puts you at $1 billion. So this is just Carsome and the backers behind it being creative. There's no hard and fast rule to say that this is the way you end up being a unicorn. And by the way, Tony Fernandez has also used this method to declare, his Air Asia Digital, right? Sorry, I've got something in my eye there. To declare that, AirAsia.com is also a unicorn. He also did the same approach. So, but anyway, PNB people, and I was told that the people in PNB who make these private investments are all traditional bankers, merchant bankers. So for them to do a method which is, unusual, made them uneasy, and they say, hey, I don't think you're really a unicorn. So, and we also then on top of that think your valuation as a unicorn, we feel is more expensive. We're going to turn our backs on this deal. Again, I've used this word so many times, but it's just a really gutsy decision by them, because I think they're putting their careers on the line, because now, if this comes through and there's an official press release to say that, hey, we did raise $300 million, which is the latest round, which is way higher than the 100 million. And of course, I think in the month of December, there was another announcement from Caro that they raised $15 million, a smaller round from somebody. And previously, they had raised 360 million, like in June of last year. So also Sime Darby, right? Sime Darby Autos also invested in Caro. very interesting that a brick and mortar Malaysian company, which has got its own used car dealership, also, I don't know whether they looked at Carsome numbers, maybe not, but they probably piggy bank on PNB and say, we trust you, then we're going to invest in Caro. So there's added edge there. And I think, and I've said it before, for everyone in Carsome, this just lights a fire under all of you to run and grow the business even more, to prove PNB wrong, and to prove that you are the better company, and you are the better horse to bet on in terms of who will dominate and be a winner in the used car online marketplace in Southeast Asia. And I hope the two of you don't come together at some point, because you're going to be butting head against each other. And when two giants butt head against each other, you butt heads, you not really by out innovating each other. I think you're going to butt heads by giving better discounts. Consumers will benefit. At some point, you're going to say, hey, nobody's giving us a medal for doing this. Let's just do a Grab and Uber, right? And become pals again and let buy one. I hope that
Karam, you're making a prediction. You're making a
pissed.
prediction right now.
It's not a prediction. It's a horror, for me, it's a horror scenario. I hope it doesn't happen. But while the two of them are trying to beat each other, consumers will benefit, used car dealers will benefit. So let's see where we go with that. And of course, I'm hoping Carsome goes for its IPO, because then the numbers become transparent. It'll be so much fun to see what they do, right? Quarter to quarter basis. Of course, it's not going to be fun for Eric and TJ, the two co-founders, right? Because they're going to be facing the crazy US, stock analysts, and they're going to, like I said, like Anthony, they're going to look the hood. They're going to look under the hood of every car or every deal made, or the financial, equity structure, and say, we don't like this, we don't like that. And they're really going to be it'll be like the breakfast grill every day, right? Like you're getting grilled by Kusu Chuang, right? Every day. Anyway, that aside, unless you got anything else?
No. Just to say that the only thing you didn't add onto that, the cherry on top of the cake, as it were, was to mention that, and there is a possibility now that I suppose if this comes through, Carsome will be moving its headquarters to a different country.
Yeah. My goodness, the ultimate horror scenario. But I think because Khazanah came in the last round when they raised that how much did the 200 million, right? Carsome's last rounds of.
I have to look it up.
Okay, but I think Khazanah would have come in and say, guys, you guys are staying put, unless out of this 300 million now, like Temasek has put a huge chunk down, and then you absolutely cannot blame Carsome if the people who put their money down are saying, we want you to be relocated and declare yourself a Singapore company. It'll be a huge blow to Malaysia's ambitions to want to create 5 unicorns by 2024. Huge blow. And everybody's going to start saying, hey man, why couldn't we have raised the money, right? Why couldn't we have bet on our own champions? And nobody will blame Carsome, and I also do not blame them if that happens, and I hope it doesn't.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we should move on to the next story now. This is more just something from The Edge. They had taken note that Bank Negara reported that the number of e-money transactions, so e-money meaning like, for example, e-wallet, in the month of November 2021 was the highest in 5 years, right? So specifically, there were 233.6 million transactions, valued at, we agree, is 5 billion ringgit. And indeed, if you dig up the data from Bank Negara, you have to look back, right, way back in, say, for example, January 2017, right? The value of transactions was in 700 million ringgit, and then it's grown to now, which is 5 billion, right?
Yep.
Which is great for e-money. You need to put this into a bit of context, Kara. Compared to credit card is 13.9 billion, so 2.5 times as much, and a debit card is 7.8 billion. So still more people are using debit card.
Yeah, but credit cards have been around for 2.5 decades, right? So
yeah,
the newbie on the block is literally racing it. If you compare the growth of credit card adoption, if we had that, and Bank Negara will have the data. I mean, I don't think in the annual report they will track back 20 years. There's no way the growth of credit card was that rapid. So definitely,
I mean,
it's an S curve. E-wallets have hit the S curve already for sure.
So I mean, credit cards and to a certain degree, debit cards have been more or less consistent. E-wallets have been rising. So yes, all the growth is coming through e-wallets.
Correct. And I think credit to the Edge, right? They actually reach out to a economist from Bank Islam, right? The chief economist, Dr. Afzanizam. And he says, like, look, all it shows is like, it shows that it offers better security, right? You got, and the bonus points are possibly going cashless because it makes sense, the safety of it, the hygiene of it. So the tailwinds are right there, right, for digital payments, right, in whatever method. So
I mean the pandemic clearly has had its impact as well.
100,000%, yeah.
This is precisely what Sarawak state government said, because Sarawak, I mean, coincidentally, in another press release, Sarawak state government said that their own mobile app platform, SPay, has now 590,000 over registered users, and they have recorded transactions worth 1.8 billion ringgit since 2017.
Wow!
So they're touting this as they're touting this as an achievement, and I think it's quite right for them to do so. They said it increased tremendously during the pandemic, and because many entrepreneurs prefer to do cashless. But honestly, my take on it, Karam, is that actually it could be even better, because as you know, I go to Kuching relatively frequently, and I was in Kuching earlier, just a month ago. And the truth of the matter is, not as many merchants in Kuching seem to be using e-wallets, except e-wallet payments compared to KL. I believe many more could do so. And in fact, it was my wife, who is Sarawakian, who had to show her family how to use e-wallets to pay for parking.
Really? Yeah?
And of course, when she does it, she doesn't need to stand in queue to pay for the parking ticket, right? So suddenly the family is like, oh, you can pay parking through your phone. Oh, we should. Oh, this is great. So it clearly that there is a value that can be recognized, right? It's just not. It hasn't caught traction yet, I suppose, for whatever reason. I mean, Karam, honestly, it looks like it's just going up and up, right? We're going to have more and more e-payments.
Absolutely. So credit to Sarawak. They, among all the states, they've set the bar, and let's see, whether the rest of the states can match them. So good for you. Okay, now let's move on to maybe Dzof, if you can, to the fourth story. And this is, we're going to talk about 5G, but not about Digital National Bhd directly, because Maybank Investment Bank produced a research report, and they have called a neutral on the telco industry because of the government's decision to review its 5G network rollout model. Just talking about the model, right? Not talking about rolling out 5G. And it says that the outcome will have mature longer-term implications to mobile operators. And because of that, it says that, although it says there may be a delay, not in January, because the government is still dealing with the flood situation, and there may be a delay in the review outcome also. But they say it's just bad because it has surprised the market, and it shows that, we really don't know what we're doing, which is absolutely true, right? We didn't need Maybank IB to tell us that.
The report doesn't say we really don't know what we're doing.
Know what it's doing. Sorry?
The report doesn't say we don't know what we're doing.
I'm being a bit, my crystal ball was just here, right? So I'm saying that's what they meant to say. Okay, Maybank
but Karam is correct.
Say,
Karam is correct. It did say that it surprised the market. The decision for basically the government to say we will review how this is being rolled out has surprised the market, and it's introduced uncertainty. Isn't that the issue, Karam? We don't know now.
Correct. And they use flip-flop. I should have brought my flip-flops, and I should have worn my flip-flops for the show today, but I didn't. And look, it says that they're being kind. They say it paints the country's policy making in a bad light. I just said that they are just clueless, and they are easily swayed by poor arguments, right? And when I wrote my piece, and the Edge has done some pieces, just look at the track record of the telcos for 4G in this country, and the fact that this government is putting up 20 over billion ringgit of taxpayer money to accelerate and deepen the rollout of 4G. How unbelievable is that? In the back of my mind, I have the word like this is like, daylight robbery, or it's a train robbery. I don't know. I was watching a Netflix show, right? It's a train robbery with horses coming, with masks on, bananas on. Except this time we know who's committing the robbery, right? So it's just ridiculous, right? You look at your track record and you still want to say that we telcos, our incumbent, 3 and plus U Mobile being Notifler in there, we can do a better job on our own, give us a chance, right? I say they don't get a chance anymore. But DNB has on its own rolled out already so fast. We've got 5G now, and I'm eagerly waiting for Unify Mobile to offer 5G. Apparently, the engineers are working to do the testing and all. I don't know what's taking them so long. TM officials off the record tell me they are working very hard to get their network ready for 5G. I think there's some delay there. I have no idea why. I'm not happy with this as a potential customer of Unify Mobile, but we'll end it there and we'll go on to Bank Negara again, because it's good. And this story, Dzof's going to take lead, and very quickly it's going to show that our policymakers are open to the digital world, and they're issuing call for discussion paper, whatnot. Dzof, what is this about?
Well, in the same way that fintech has been seen a big growth in Malaysia recently, and a lot of it is to do with Bank Negara sort of encouraging, creating a sandbox, things like that. So what's happened is that Bank Negara yesterday issued something called a discussion paper. So a discussion paper is like a call for comments, or it's not a policy, it's like the beginning of a framework for a policy, right? And the discussion paper is specifically looking at digital insurance and takaful operators, right? And they want to encourage some digital innovation, specifically to complement the initiative on digital banks. So I think this makes complete sense. Similar to the digital bank license, they say they want to address gaps among the unserved and the underserved, which also I think is an interesting, it's a good priority to focus on. So that is for digital insurance. And the next one, Karam, is
so I'll just
Pandai.
End,
So
I'll
okay,
quickly end. I'll quickly end with a Malaysian edtech startup, which actually launched like in January or February of 2020. Talk about timing, right? And they have actually just announced on Friday that they've raised $2 million in a seed round, which is amazing, right? For you to raise 8.5 million ringgit in your
it's a very healthy seed round.
Again, it is a very big seed round, and I'm so happy to see that the seed round, understanding of our entrepreneurs, they are raising the bar. This is now seed round, right? And the good thing is that it's a mix of local, international, and high net worth investors who are from very, very big and large companies also. So it shows the confidence of the investing ecosystem in Pandai, right? And by the way, Pandai is the Malay word for smart. So it's a cool name that they come up with. And I think, Dzof, coincidentally, you announced, you didn't announce that, but you shared that your daughter is using their platform, right? So
yeah. So she's a subscriber to Pandai, and she has alerts every day.
So they call themselves a social enterprise that is trying to balance social impact and commercial practices. So kudos to them. Good luck to them. The founder, Khairul Anwar, and his team of co-founders also, Suhaimi, Ramli, and Akmal Akpa. Guys, hopefully your Series A, you're going to raise like 10 or 15 million US dollars, or you raise $50 million US dollars, if that's possible, even better. We look forward to that. And with that, all of you can sense that Malaysia's digital economy for 2021 was on a nice, steady pace, and we are starting 2020, with a bang. So with that, we will look forward to seeing you again next week. 2 thumbs up.